What is going on, everybody? This is King Kong 9100 here with a bit of a more positive video. I made a video on what Godzilla King of the Monsters did wrong, and since I do love the film, I figure I make a video on what the film did right. Let's get right into it. Number 1, the threats were serious. I love how in this film you truly feel how the threats were actual threats. The kaiju felt extremely dangerous and just overall quite disastrous. I like how serious the movie takes the threats. Like, they could have easily been all like, oh, we got these 300-foot kaiju walking around, you got any that fly? God, that sucked. But you get the idea. I'm glad they didn't go the Marvel route and give us really bad jokes to make the threats seem less than they really would be, so that was a great part on the studio side. Number 2, Rodan. Now, there was a lot about Rodan that I did not like, as seen in my last video, but I also love Rodan in this film. His design is excellent. Like, I love how Doherty went ahead with the lava idea and how Rodan basically has lava flowing through his freaking veins. Like, that's so badass. It also makes some really cool looking shots, like with Rodan's magma-tipped wings spewing lava as he flies. And he also sets everything ablaze when he gets too close to it, as seen with the building when he's attacking Mothra, and that was awesome. The design itself is rad too. Like, I just wish his height was around 300 feet tall, but other than that, it's all good when he has goddamn lava wings. Number 3, Mothra. Not only is Mothra done in an amazing way, but her design is awesome. Like, she's a brawler, so she has many natural weapons, and that's just sick. Seeing her fur in CG looks totally awesome, and the fact that she had these expressive eyes were a unique touch that I didn't even know I wanted until I saw it. She was done so beautifully and elegantly in this film, and they did not make a joke out of her either. Like, I'm so glad that Dr. Chen and Ling both were twins, and they covered the whole twin fairy idea in the film. They had like a psychological connection to Mothra, and to be honest, I didn't really get that at my first viewing, but I will admit it does take some digging to understand, but once you do, it's a really neat thing to see. So I do love how Mothra was done and how Dr. Chen and Dr. Ling's connection to Mothra was done, and I really hope to see more of that in later films. Number 4, King Ghidorah. King Ghidorah was the best in this film. I really loved his design and his absolutely evil personality. It really shines in this film. His gravity beams were awesome, and he was so surprisingly agile. It was insane. Really great touches, and the fact that he had those red eyes in some shots, but in other shots his eyes glowed white, was spectacular. You know, those were the kinds of things that I would have personally added to a Godzilla film that I made. He was sadistic, he was brutal, he was absolutely evil, and when he loses at the end, it's so good to see, you know. I do wish he retreated at the end, but him dying was another great thing to see, which I originally had wanted. Number 5, Godzilla. I fucking loved Godzilla in this film. He was way more expressive, he was a total badass, and he had great design changes. Godzilla was a far better fighter than he was in the 2014 film, which was excellent to see. And just the way he fought was extremely brutal. He seemed much more sentient and intelligent, and it was something that 2014 Godzilla really needed. I loved him so much in this film. Number 6, the other Titans. Okay, so my favorite Titan has to be between Behemoth and Methuselah. The other Titans in this film were freaking insane, but I absolutely loved Behemoth and Methuselah in particular. Skyla was absolutely terrifying. Methuselah is just pure awesome. If we could talk about Methuselah for a sec, I really loved how Methuselah's design was, and now he had a sort of, I'm gonna call him he, you know, for the sake of it, but he had a sort of like agility to him. Like, he seems, obviously his mass is insane because he has a mountain resting on his damn back, but when you look at his legs and his like underside, it has more of a canine, like German Shepherd dog kind of a vibe to it. He's sort of like a pit bull, you know, on his bottom. He has massive arms, massive gorilla-like arms, so they look incredibly powerful, and his punches look like they have weight to it. His jaw snapping is another thing that seems badass, and you know he has like an incredibly like powerful bite force. But the fact that he has that underside, that like sort of dog underside, shows he's incredibly agile too, and when he really needs to be. And that's something that I really love about Methuselah's design. And Behemoth is insane. I love how rad his design is. It's sort of like That's what kaiju films need. We need more like mammalian kaiju, you know. Besides King Kong, there isn't really any other mammal kaiju besides I would say King Caesar, maybe Mothra, but even then it's like that's a little bit like out there. But yeah, Behemoth was such a breath of fresh air, and it seemed really cool. I also love the spikes on Behemoth's back. That was incredible. I remember when I was younger, I was like, okay, King Kong is a mammal, but he's not that cool, so we should add something to him. Give him like spikes on his back, or you know, something cool like that to show that he's not just an oversized gorilla. But I do love King Kong's design for how he is, but Behemoth is a mammal kaiju that you could add spikes on the back to, and it just looks incredible. The fact that it's also a mammoth-like kaiju is another thing that's incredible. I absolutely love Behemoth and Methuselah. Aside their designs, I do love how they naturally restore balance, and like Godzilla spews radiation. That's nothing to hide, but the thing that this film did that's really cool is that the radiation that these monsters like exert is a good kind of radiation. It's like it restores I'm not sure how to explain it, but it's basically the good kind that allows greenery to grow, and it shows that they're big and they're sentient and they're able to restore balance when they need to. It shows that they're truly part of the natural order and they have this power behind them, and that's what I love about the Titans. Number 7, Monarch. Monarch was awesome in this film. It was perfect. You had the doctors who knew what they were talking about, the equipment, the actual aircrafts, which were awesome, and they were shown to actually affect the fight and help Godzilla. The Orca was also incredibly cool, and it wasn't really too far-fetched because, you know, we're able to communicate with dolphins and I guess whales and stuff with equipment similar to the Orca in the film, so that's another plus. I loved Monarch in this film, and even Dr. Stanton, you know, he can be a little bit much at times. If they toned him down and he was still in the film, that would be very cool. Number 8, Serizawa. Serizawa, as always, is incredible. His sacrifice was great, and even though I didn't like how he sacrificed himself so early, I mean early into the Monsterverse, the scene and the music that were all joined together was so beautiful, and it was a pretty sad thing in the end. I did like how they went about it. It was awesome. Especially his words he exchanges with Kyle Chandler and Dr. Chen. I mean, I should say Mark Russell, but you know. They also didn't make him like a completely dull character. He had some humor in this film, which I loved. And it was pretty sad to see him go. At number 9, Kyle Chandler. Kyle Chandler is an excellent actor, so his character was awesome as well. Mark Russell is written very well in my opinion, and I do like how he's still kind of coping with the loss of his son who died in the events of 2014, and that he ends up defending and helping Godzilla in the final battle. He had a character arc in the film, which was very nice, and I like the idea of a character who there's powers beyond his control that he can't physically affect, so he feels responsible for his son even though he couldn't do anything about it. But that kind of like moral dilemma is something you really need to make a character a good character, and this is just about films in general. So to see it in a kaiju film being realized is excellent. Yeah, you know, if they could touch upon that more in 2020's Godzilla vs. Kong, that would be awesome. Again, I loved his character development and who he became after what he once was before the events of the film. Number 10, Madison Russell, aka Millie Bobby Brown. Madison Russell is yet another great character to me. Now, I like how she wasn't just a typical like kid in a monster movie who is just there to whine and cry and need help from either the monster or another protagonist. She actually affected the fight, she affected the plot, she played an incredible role. I love how she saved her dad and all the Monarch team when King Ghidorah was in Antarctica and he was like about to basically end them, and then she used the Orca to help them out. She was just a very huge role in this film, and unlike a lot of kids in the Godzilla franchise, she actually mattered. So here's to hoping she does a great job in Godzilla vs. Kong. I cannot wait to see more of her. Here's a little bonus one. Number 11, the CGI. Now, I do criticize the CGI in the last video, but the CGI does truly shine in some shots, like I said. And I do like how the colors are incredibly vibrant, but I do wish they did tone down all this vibrant coloring, and I just wish it was a little bit more grounded in realism, you know? Other than that, all in all, the CGI is pretty good. That about does it, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm just trying to bring a little bit more positivity, a little bit of more levity to the channel. So please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more. I will try to be uploading way more consistently, as in at least every 2 weeks, if not only once a week. The last video was 25 minutes, and it was like straight up like 3 days of editing, and I took my computer to school and stuff, so I'm gonna make the videos a little bit more bite-sized, as I usually intend to. Stay tuned, don't be a stranger. If you guys have anything to say, just go ahead and let me know in the comments. You know I love to hear from everybody. I love you guys so much. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more. This is King Kong 9 100 signing out. See ya.